Hello? Your Health is Calling, where holistic health meets practical solutions for your well-being. With your host, speaker, New York Times bestselling author, Sue Kostyk, a seasoned holistic health practitioner and longevity coach. Join Sue each week to embark on a journey to uncover the root causes of your health concerns. Through a personalized approach, learn how to decode the messages your body is sending and craft natural protocols to address them. Call in live at 888-994-4995 Studio A.
Morning and welcome to Hello, Your Health is Calling. I'm Sue Kostyk. I am an integrative health practitioner. What does that mean? It means that integrative health gets to the root cause of what is going on. If you have symptoms, if you want to just age gracefully, if you want to think about your longevity, we figure out what's going on, why you're having the symptoms you're having. It's not a Western conventional style where we put a Band-Aid on your symptoms and send you on your way. We really dig deep through functional lab testing to get to the root cause of what's going on. And the modalities used are pretty much traditional Chinese medicine and ancient Ayurvedic medicine, which is about 6,000 years old. And the tried and true natural ways of healing and figuring out things. One of the biggest ways that we really start to tackle the issues that we're up against with our environment, with symptoms that we start to see, especially when we get a little bit older, are really usually about the fact that our liver is so overwhelmed and it needs a little bit of help to detoxify everything. I get the biggest question, well, why do I need to detox? Because I have a liver and kidneys. Well, what's happened over the course of the years is we are just bombarded with too many toxins. And I talk a lot about gut health, about the gut brain balance and their relationship. And detoxing so that your liver can be at its highest functioning is really the root of how we can maintain our health, how we can live long, very active lives. You know, I hear over and over again, oh, you're at that age, so you just have to expect it. It's like I get tired of people saying you're at that age because I am at that age. But, you know, you do not have to have specific age specific ailments just because you're at a specific age. I believe that that has been thrown out as an excuse and as a band-aid. Um, so detoxing, and not just drinking a detox tea that you buy over the counter. It's really about giving your body what it needs to detox. And, there's specific things that you need. Our bodies, we are just bombarded every day. We know it. We can't escape it. So our bodies are kind of like a rain barrel. And when they get to fill, then everything starts to spill out. And that's when we start to see symptoms. So I talk a lot about detoxing. I believe last week or the week before, we went into some more specifics about what you can do to detox. And one of the things that we didn't really cover, and it just came to mind, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine yesterday, and we don't really consider detoxing our mind, detoxing our homes, our spaces, our emotions. We can work really hard to detox our insides, and we kind of forget about our mind. And this is just such an overreaching topic that we could probably spend weeks on. But our mind, I've spent some time talking about mental health, our emotions, our homes, our spaces. You know, there are so many studies about how if you have a super cluttered space, it's not comfortable to be in, you don't feel good in it. And if we have sat in a space that we've become so comfortable in, but it's really not a healthy space, then, we're not really allowing ourselves to move forward. And so I'm going to have a guest on today. I'm really excited about this show because she is the master of reinvention. And she has single handedly pulled me out of a rut where I was super comfortable in my life and put me in a space that I had to make some changes and I had to do a few little things that were uncomfortable. But it really detoxed my mind and my mindset on how I was doing things and how I approached things. And maybe some spaces around my house were cluttered and I needed to release that. I know it sounds kind of woo woo, but really, if you're concentrating or you're thinking about something that you need to get done, you're not focusing on what you are doing. And so I'm going to bring her on in a little bit, and we're just going to have a conversation about what that looks like, what that looked like for her, and possibly how that, looked for me and brought me to where I am today. So hang tight. We're going to go to a brief commercial, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about detoxifying our life. So we'll be right back.
Hello? Your health is calling. Feeling bloated, low on energy, dealing with hormone imbalances? Integrative health coach Sue Kostyk is here to assist you. Reach out to Sue for practical health solutions guided by her professional training as a holistic coach. Sue specializes in identifying the underlying causes of health issues and restoring balance. Don't let your health concerns impact your well-being. Contact Sue Kostyk today at 917-362-5176 or via email at sue@symmetryhealthandwellness.com and take the first step towards a healthier, happier you.
You've been watching Hello, Your Health is Calling. Join me as we dive into the realms of longevity, nutrition, stress management, and toxin removal, all without the use of harsh pharmaceuticals. And now, back to the show. Okay, welcome back. So I am so happy to introduce to you my dear friend, Chanel, and she is the founder of the Reinvented Life Network. She is a New York Times bestselling author on reinventing your life, and a coach and a friend and a mentor. And we are going to have a conversation now about detoxifying your life. So let's bring Chanel on. Welcome. Thank you so much for sharing your morning with us. I know
Good, mo-
that the listeners and viewers are going to get so many good little nuggets.
good morning. So excited to be here always with you.
Mhm. Well, it's going to be great. And yesterday, this kind of sparked today's show, was our conversation yesterday about detoxifying our life, our world that we live in, and how where we live can really impact how we move forward in our life. And, I talk, so much about detoxing the inside so that we can be healthy and moving forward in our calling and everything. But we don't talk about detoxing what's around us. And you and I had a conversation, so let's kind of jump into that. So, why don't you talk a little bit about your kitchen and how this conversation all came about?
Yeah, well, I think at the base of everything, we have to remember that we're emotional, physical, mental, spiritual beings. And it's the holistic approach of all of those functioning together that helps one and you're talking about detoxifying, so that's a change. So with any change comes all of that. And I myself have had some forced change this year. I've had an injury to my body. It's kept me really in a place that I haven't been able to move. I'm actually walking right now with a walker and all of that. But in the process of that, I've been home a lot more. And what I realized and what initiated this is I started looking around my home. And as we've heard so many times, our spaces, our environments where we're working, whether it be home offices, offices, wherever you are working, if they are not reflective of where you want to go, if they are not reflective of the vision of where your life and you want it to be, and it's reflective of, say, past, it's going to constrict any, not just physical movement, but emotional and mental movement as well. So I started looking at my kitchen as an example, and I have lovely, beautiful things in my kitchen. However, it was things from my past. And of course, we all like to keep mementos and things around that we enjoy. But it wasn't visionary of where I wanted my future to be. The clean look of it, having things in place that were, as you mentioned, able to detoxify, because I think we forget that in our kitchens we're using old kind of mixing bowls often, or we're using things that are places that need to be detoxified. So just our spaces are reflective of oftentimes where we
Yeah.
were, but not where we want to go.
It's so true. And I think about my office space so much because when you and I started talking, I had recently just left corporate America and I had my things from that part of my life stacked up in my office because, you know, whether it was a notebook that had notes from events that I did, or, a trinket that I collected in my travels. But I found that having a lot of that stuff stashed, it was, no, number one, it was cluttering and it was collecting dust. And number two, it was like just that visual of the past, and especially the notebooks. And I love to save my notebooks. Now, I save my calendars, I save my notebooks. But I was looking at all the notebooks stacked up on the corner of my desk that really had nothing to do with anything that I was going to be doing moving forward. I would never look into that notebook again because I did a complete 180 in going from a global event planner to integrative health practitioner. So why was I holding on to those? And I held on to them for quite some time. And I don't think I ever shared this with you, but it became such, it's like I would look at that pile of notebooks and just really not feel good. So I went through a whole purging thing of my office and my life and everything at that point, and just got rid of those notebooks. And it was every time I walked into my office and didn't see those, I felt so much better. And I think when we have those mental roadblocks, we have to kind of take a look at what's surrounding us that's really keeping us from moving forward.
Yes, and so oftentimes we don't think about when we, either by choice or by desire or just by familiarity, take the step back, we're actually disempowering ourselves oftentimes from what a future with a new possibility can look
Mhm.
like. And that can be in any way. I know for me, part of my rehabilitation is I've had to resort back to crawling. I mean, it
Mm,
sounds crazy, but when you crawl versus when you're able to walk and to run, obviously you can make better headway, but the crawling is an important step in building it. So I use that as an example of when we look at our lives today and we look at all the building blocks that have gone
mhm.
into it, then we need to look at, are we the cleanest that we can be? Even with, as we were talking about, eating very clean and good food, if we're getting toxins from our kitchens, from our cooking utensils, from our pans, from our aluminum foil, that's just everyday
Mhm.
things, we're not looking at the most empowering future for
Right,
ourselves.
right. Yes, and we could do everything that we think we're doing to be eat clean, change out, different pots and pans. But one of the things that I was doing, I was trying to get a list of products for a client that were a little bit cleaner for her kitchen. And I started thinking about the stuff we spray in our pans. And
Mm,
so let's say we have wonderful ceramic pans that are non toxic in themselves. But then we take a can of cooking spray
ah,
that has benzene in it so that it propels the oil into the pan. Now we've made our pan toxic and the food that we're cooking. And it's these things that you don't know what you don't know. But try as we do to, have a good clean life. We're kind of jumping into another segue here, but that's why detoxing is so important,
mhm.
because it doesn't matter what you do. You're going to walk outside and there's going to be pollution. You're going to, possibly spray your pan with some cooking spray because you didn't know. And you're going to maybe cook in foil because you didn't realize that when you heat the food in foil, the aluminum seeps into the food. So again, that's why these detoxes are so crucial, because there is absolutely no way we're going to put ourselves in a bubble and, be these superhuman detoxified people walking around on the planet. And it doesn't matter about whether it's physical or mental, because we are one being. We are spiritual, mental, and physical. So this whole idea of detoxifying and detoxifying our life is such an important topic. And I hope that if anybody has any questions or comments or would like more on this topic, you'll reach out to support at Hello Your Health is Calling, because I am so happy to just jump on a call and help you figure things out, or introduce you to a functional medicine detox, whatever it is, because this is a topic that's probably people are going to get tired of hearing, but it's so important. And I love the topic of detoxifying your world around you, where you live, what you're doing, you know. And, I don't think that you know it, Chanel, but what you do as far as helping people to reinvent their lives and to figure out where they are stuck, I mean, that's kind of a form of detoxification as well. It's like when,
Absolutely. I mean, it's the core. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and it's like for me personally, we have conversations and we laugh a lot, but it's a very serious topic, and I think that no matter what age you're at or where you are in your life, taking a look at what you can reinvent, taking a look at the things that you can be doing that are going to move you forward. You use a term, we are human beings, not human doings. And I love that. So let's talk a little bit about that too, because when you are a being versus a doing, that's another form of detoxification.
It certainly is. I mean, for the most part, all of us end up, certainly by young adulthood, at the very latest,
Mm.
human doings. It's all about what we're doing. It's all about the checklist. It's all about the to-do list, what we're checking off, what we've gotten done, what we've accomplished. And we end up living our life actually praising, whew, got that done,
Mhm.
without the important evaluation of, is this a true connection to who I want to be? And
Mhm.
that's why the example of shedding the notebooks or progressing from the crawling stage to the walking stage is just analogous to moving forward. And oftentimes we just get stuck. So a human doing is about being stuck. And that is emotionally stuck, or mentally stuck, or physically stuck, or spiritually stuck in a condition of just getting through. Versus a human being is constantly evaluating, how am I being in the world? How am I showing up?
Mhm.
Is this close to and analogous with what my soul, what my really true being wants to be? And the
Mhm.
sooner in life we can ask those questions, the sooner we'll start being the human being versus the human doing.
Yeah, that is so good. And I love how you say the sooner in life, because I literally was a human doing for 40 years. I mean, it was like, and I know that a lot of moms who are
Mm.
also, have a career and they're trying to raise their kids, and there's, they're being pulled in, 27 different directions, but it doesn't mean you still can't just sit and be. I think
Mhm.
that, again, here's another rabbit hole, stress. I think that we put stress up on a pedestal,
Mhm.
and it makes us do. It doesn't allow us to be. And it's really hard for young people to understand that concept. And maybe that's just being older and wiser and having to live through life. But if there's some young people that find themselves that they are always doing, 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 and they're listening to this show, then, maybe stop and take a little bit of an assessment. And,
Mhm.
yes, motherhood, parenthood, that is like the number one super important job. But you can also have yourself in that as well. You can also figure out if you are on the right path, so that, I'm going to be an empty nester in a matter of weeks. And so many times people find themselves in this position and they're like, oh crap, what am I going to do now? And it's like, if you find yourself in that situation, then try to think of a plan to move yourself forward. And if it is a matter of taking a look at your surroundings, this was part of our conversation yesterday too, is, where do I want to be when my daughter goes off to college?
Yeah.
My world is going to change dramatically. I am not going to be doing all the time. I am going to be in my space. And so, how do I want my space to look? And,
Well,
that's a whole, go ahead.
yeah, I mean, that's so perfect that you bring that up because, you have 4 children, 4 grown adult children now. And
Mhm.
as you and I were talking, that's 35 years worth of your lifetime in the position of having children at home at
Yeah.
every stage for 35 years. So
Yes.
that conditioning, and when you mention that even young adults find themselves in this stage of the human doing, it's because that is the conditioning we have. What have you
Mhm.
achieved? What have you gotten done? With raising 4 children, with raising one child,
Mhm.
it is a constant battle of time versus what's getting done. And
Right.
so the reinventing work is all about taking that constant inventory assessment, as you
Mhm.
just said, and really being true to yourself
Mhm.
of, is this a significant way of being in the world right now and the time I'm spending?
Yeah. No, that's awesome. And when we're talking about human beings and assessing where we want to go, so many people wait until the kids are gone or wait until they're a little bit older and a little bit more independent. And then you're in a position that you are just lost and you're stuck because you've allowed yourself to just stay in this place that society has told you that you need to give your 5,000% to. And, if there's a message to people, no matter what your age, really, is when you find yourself stuck or saying, I'll do this Monday, or I'll wait till tomorrow, or I'll wait till the kids are older, or I'll wait till this. This is where we start to get stuck in that vicious cycle of doing the bare minimum, just getting by, not walking in our purpose, and possibly getting ourselves into a position where disease is starting to creep in because we haven't been paying attention. And I talk about the check engine light, and it's such a great analogy because when our check engine light in our car goes on, we either ignore it or we do something about it. There's really no in between. And if we ignore it, eventually we will have to do something about it because that check engine light means something. So if you have some physical, mental, spiritual check engine light on, don't wait. Don't just, hope. Hope is not a good way to go. We need to pay attention to the reasons why those lights are going on. And yes, you may have to go to the mechanic. You may have to go to a doctor or, a therapist or, some place where you have to spend some money, just like you would on your car. But is it better to spend it now versus what's going to happen when it really breaks down and you're in a situation that there's just too much to go into fixing? So,
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, and I read this recently, it's not about your age. It's about the energy of who you're
mhm,
being. And we are all energy, and we all are a certain frequency. And everything we're talking about is about operating at a higher frequency. It's
mhm,
about operating in a field of abundance, that there is limitless possibilities, that we don't have to necessarily define ourselves by who we've been, but again, who we want to be. And when you shifting that paradigm, it's going
mhm,
to be, as to use the car analogies, all cylinders need to be working in sync,
mhm.
right? So this energy we bring forward, again, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, helps what we bring into the world. And it's our
Mhm.
contribution to the world to be operating at this higher frequency. It's the energy of all of it that helps provide
Right.
a brighter and more empowered future.
It is, and we're all put here for a reason. So, digging into that, we've kind of been all over the place with this talk this morning, but I do believe that the bottom line, when you peel back the entire onion, that the bottom line is we are meant to be here. We're meant to lead happy, healthy lives full of purpose. And it's like the whole detoxifying yourself, your inside, your outside, your environment, is so that we can really focus on what we're here for. And I thank you so much for coming on today. I love our conversations whenever we have them. And you bring so much to the table. And I'm so grateful that you brought me to the Reinvented Life Network. Again, if anybody has any questions, if you want more information on detoxing, then please reach out to support at Hello, Your Health is Calling. Just a little advertisement. I am launching a detox course. It'll probably launch next week, so I'll probably talk a lot about the course and what that means for everybody. It's going to be great. It's kind of a self-guided tour, if you will, in the world of detox. So again, if your health is calling, if you have your check engine light on, please pay attention. And, sometimes it's very easy, sometimes it's a little complicated, but through functional lab testing, we can figure things out. So I really appreciate everybody who's watching. If you're watching on YouTube at the Reinvented Life Network, please like and subscribe so that you can always get notifications when we're on. And I really appreciate your support. So remember, if your health is calling, please answer. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you for tuning in to another empowering episode of Hello, Your Health is Calling with Sue Kostyk. Remember, your health journey is ongoing, and we're here to support you every step of the way. If you have any questions, insights, or stories to share, don't hesitate to reach out. You can connect with us on social media or call in live at 888-994-4995 Studio A. Together, we're transforming lives and embracing holistic well-being. Until next time, prioritize your health and remember, your health is calling.